Sherif Fakher is a PhD student in petroleum engineering, and he is presenting to you on improving carbon dioxide storage and plugging efficiency in hydrocarbon reservoirs.
So my work is mainly related to carbon dioxide flooding in hydrocarbon reservoirs. This is a technique used worldwide in order to increase recovery from oil reservoirs. If you take a look at this, this is an illustration showing a typical oil reservoir. Red here indicates the carbon dioxide, while brown would indicate the oil. So what happens is we inject the carbon dioxide through an injection well in the middle of the reservoir. And this carbon dioxide flows through the reservoir, interacts with the oil, and then mobilizes it, and it produces through 4 production wells on all 4 corners of the reservoir. Now we see three significant features in this reservoir. We see a fracture over here that extends from the injection well all the way to one of the producers. And then we see another fracture that doesn't extend all the way, but it still is connected to the injection well. And then we see layers that permit the flow of carbon dioxide, like this one, much easier than other layers. So what will happen is, once we inject the carbon dioxide, it'll flow through these layers, produce a very small amount of oil, and leave huge amounts of oil in the reservoir unproduced. And what we proposed as a solution to this problem is to use what we call particle gels. And you can see them up here. Initially, they're dry particles, but once they're swollen in water, they can increase to tens or even hundreds sometimes of times of their original size. And then they start looking like this, and they can swell even more. And then what happens is we inject these particles inside the injection well, they flow through the reservoir, plug these features, and then once we inject the carbon dioxide again inside the reservoir, it doesn't go through these anymore, but it actually sweeps all of the other oil inside. And this can increase oil recovery by almost 70 to even 80% in some instances, which is a significant thing. And also, this huge amount of carbon dioxide can be stored in the reservoir, which will decrease greenhouse emissions in the environment significantly. And the way we model this is using these setups over here on the right. Each of these setups actually took around 4 months just to construct. And the difference between the uppermost and the middle one is actually the white strip in the middle. One indicates a complete fracture and another indicates partial fracture. And so we run our experiments and we actually managed to store huge amounts of carbon dioxide compared to initially, and we also managed to increase oil recovery to a significant amount inside our reservoir. Thank you.